Hi there! You're about to listen to a vintage episode of the Under the Microscope podcast. While the content is still as relevant and as interesting as when it was recorded, our webpage has changed. You can now find us at thesciencetalk.com/real-scientist-nano. Welcome to Under the Microscope. This series is brought to you by the Real Scientists Nano team. Our goal is to provide a platform where scientists can communicate their work and interact with the public. Hi everyone, today we have with us Robert Karsthof, who is a Postdoctoral Research Fellow at the University of Oslo in Norway. Hi Robert, how are you?
Hi, Prati. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Excited to know about your research. It sounds so cool. So let's start with understanding your research in super simple words. So please explain your research to us in super simple words.
I try to keep it as simple as possible. So semiconductors are a very interesting, very versatile material class. It's sort of materials that are have an electric conductivity between that of insulators and that of metals. And that conductivity can be controlled over a very wide range of values. And those materials are actually the basis for most of the technology that we use nowadays. So smartphones, computers, solar cells, LEDs, all of those work because they use this versatile material class, the semiconductors. And I'm a semiconductor physicist, so I investigate properties of these materials under a specific aspect, and that is that of defects. So semiconductors are, in most cases, are crystals. In crystals, atoms are in very specific sites. And when something in this lattice is not where it should be, then this is a defect. And defects can have a huge impact on how a semiconductor behaves. So, for example, the conductivity can change, or also the transmittance, so the amount of light that's coming through, or the amount of light that a semiconductor can emit in an LED, depends on how many defects there are, what kind of defect there are, and all these things. So this is what I'm looking at. So I study methods to detect defects in different materials, but also I study ways to functionalize them. So to use their presence to make exciting, cool devices.
Interesting. And I know there are different kinds of defects. Can I ask you, what is your favorite kind of defect? Do you have a favorite kind of defect?
Yes, I do. So when you take an atom out of a lattice and just leave the space empty, that is called a vacancy. And vacancies are, at least in the materials that I investigate, are very interesting because they are, they influence a large amount of properties. They can be mobile, so they can move around. They can trap charge carriers and emit light and all these things. And they are also very challenging because they can, if you, for example, use computational methods to model these defects, they can be very challenging to understand and to model. So I think I would say vacancies.
Vacancy defects. Okay, cool. That's good to know. The vacancy defects do sound really cool. They might just in my favorite list as well. Especially the way you described it. Yes, they sound super cool. So it's a lot of science and a lot of interesting science that is going to come our way in the week that you will take over the account. So what can the followers expect in the week that you will take over the Real Scientist Nano Twitter account?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it interesting and just flip it up a little bit. So I'll probably just start with a quick introduction on Monday, just give information on my background, on my studies in Leipzig, in Germany, where I obtained my PhD. And then it depends a bit on how things are evolving here. So Norway is in the middle of deciding, or Oslo at least, is in the middle of deciding if there will be a second shutdown. So if the lab closes down, then I'll probably start doing a little more talking about conceptual stuff about defects, what they are, why are they important, talk about a few of my experiments that I'm doing here on different material systems that I investigate. And I also have a backup list of things or an experiment that I did that I will be tweeting about. If I can go to the lab, I hope that I will actually be able to do a live experiment. So that there will be one day where I go through an actual experiment where I prepare my samples and of course with pictures so everyone knows what it's going to be like, and then fabricate those and just to convey some of the excitement that this is actually giving me. I'll be talking about different ways how to detect defects, so the different methods that we use, so optical stuff, electrical methods mainly. Then I also want to talk about this functionalization of aspect, so ways that I study how we can make devices. So this is mainly something that is interesting for quantum technology. So I will probably be talking a bit about that. Also a bit about applications for neuromorphic computing, which is something I recently discovered, or not discovered, but one of the materials that I'm studying is there's an application there, so that can be quite exciting. And then I'll maybe just on Friday I plan to talk a little bit about my PhD project in Leipzig, where I studied transparent solar cells. So this is a very nice project that I did my PhD thesis on. That was quite successful, and I think that might be something that people might be interested in. And then I'll probably devote the weekend to some aspects of living and working in Norway. That will be it.
Okay, that sounds like a lot. There is so much going on. I hope the labs don't close because I want to see what kind of experiments you're doing and the
Me too.
that you're fabricating. I want to be part of that excitement as well. So thank you very much, Robert, for speaking with us, and looking forward to having you on Real Scientist Nano.
Yes, thank you. I'm also very much looking forward to it.
Thank you for listening. To know more about us, please visit our website, realscientistsnano.org, and follow us on Twitter at realsci_nano.